What is happening to this world? Why are we all locked up in our home? Why are we all scared of something that we can't even see? These are the questions everybody have in their mind right now. COVID-19. World Health Organization named it initially as 2019 novel coronavirus disease since it started in December 2019. Later they changed it to COVID-19, that is coronavirus disease 19. I am Dr. Aradhi Jishad Kumar and I am here to talk about COVID-19 in detail. And let's get started. Now, the question is, who is the real culprit? The answer is simple. It's a virus. Viruses are microscopic organisms smaller than even a bacteria. If you look at the general structure of a virus, it consists mainly of two components, a protein coat and a genetic material, which can be a DNA or RNA. Depending on whether the viruses are covered with an outer envelope or not, there are two kinds of virus. So, the viruses are classified again into two. One is enveloped virus with an outer envelope. Here, the topmost picture. So, the envelope will be helping or preventing the immune system of the host from attacking the virus. So, second category is non-enveloped or naked virus. So, these virus doesn't have an outer covering. In the down, the picture shows the virus has only an outer protein coat as well as the genetic material. The funny thing about virus is that virus cannot exist as its own. To perform or to make progeny or the next generation, virus has to get inside a host. And this getting inside the host, virus will making use of the machinery inside the host to perform replication or other process to make multiple copies of the virus. And if you look at a virus I already mentioned, it can have genetic material as DNA or RNA. So, when it make multiple copies of itself, the DNA or RNA has to be copied different time. That multiple times they will copy the same genetic material or information contained in the genetic material within the host. And while performing that copying process, virus may make some mistakes, and these mistakes are called mutations. So, if a virus, say virus A, get inside a host and it will use the machinery within the host to make multiple copies of its genetic material because it's using someone else's machinery. So, it will be in a haste, and while performing the copying process, some of few components may vary. So, the progeny will have some variation from the parental virus, and these variations are called mutations. And the mutation normally they may not change the behavior of virus, but sometimes these mutations make virus may sometime aggressive or maybe more prone to infections, that is making a virus a supervirus. Now the question is, how can we observe the virus? As I already mentioned, viruses are smaller even than a bacteria. If you are using a light microscope, we used to observe bacteria, animal cells, etc. But virus, because it's really small, we can't use a light microscope to observe them. Here comes the importance of electron microscope. Here I have mentioned, or I have 4 pictures of 4 different viruses, where the picture was taken using a transmission electron microscope. Now, we will see what exactly is a coronavirus. So, coronavirus are a group of RNA virus. That means coronavirus genetic material is RNA and it causes disease in mammals and birds. And coronavirus, there are different variations which is in human. I have mentioned different kinds of coronavirus which is observed in human. Out of that, SARS-CoV-2, the last one, that is responsible for COVID-19. And there is a classification for coronavirus. There are two different kinds of coronavirus depending on its host targets. So even if they are very small, they are really choosy. So few of the coronavirus will attack only animals. Few of them will attack human. So depending on that host target or host specificity, coronavirus are two types: animal coronavirus and human coronavirus. Animal coronavirus, as the name says, it attack or its host is animals. For example, canine respiratory coronavirus, which is causing respiratory disease in dogs. Second category is human coronavirus. As the name says, it affect or attack human cells. And there are different varieties. Out of that, SARS-CoV-2 is responsible for COVID-19. Now, we will see what exactly is SARS-CoV-2. SARS is severe acute respiratory syndrome. That is because it mainly or primarily affects lungs. And CoV corresponds to coronavirus. Or simply we can call it as coronavirus. And these are RNA viruses with an envelope. As I already mentioned, viruses are two kinds: enveloped virus and naked virus. Enveloped virus usually have an envelope covering its protein coat. And these envelopes usually they get out of a host cell membrane. So the envelope kind of protect the virus from immune responses. Second, these viruses have a positive sense RNA. Like I said, these are RNA viruses, which are RNA virus. RNA is single stranded and these single strands are positive sense. That means once the virus attack the host, the virus will release the RNA into the host. And this RNA can directly make protein through a process called translation. And the study shows that the genetic material or the genome size of coronavirus, that is SARS-CoV-2, is larger than any known RNA virus. And current studies are showing there are two lineages of coronavirus. So that means there are two different kinds. One is S type and another is L type. S type is similar to the ancestors, that is the animal coronavirus. And this is less aggressive and less prevalent. Whereas studies are showing L type is very aggressive. So these classification or these lineages they have discovered from patients. So they have taken coronavirus from different patients and checked for the genetic material from those coronavirus RNA taken from those patients. And those patients which were infected, who were infected with L type, had severe corona disease or severe COVID-19 disease. So now we will see, since it is really small, how can we detect corona in our body? There are two different ways we can detect corona in our body. One is a swab test. Another is antibody test. Or people used to say as antigen test. So swab test is making use of the RNA level or RNA in the coronavirus. That means if a person is infected or having corona in their body, if we take swab, that will also have the corona, right? So the corona is a RNA virus. So whatever sample we are taking, that will have RNA from the corona. First, what they will do is they will convert the RNA to DNA, because RNA is really small with only a single strand. So estimating the level of RNA is very difficult. So first we have to convert the RNA to DNA. If you are looking at any organism, usually the flow of information is from a DNA to RNA. DNA is the ultimate genetic material in most of the organisms except viruses. So the information contained in the DNA is copied through a process called transcription and RNAs are made. So this process is called transcription. Here what we are doing is we are taking RNA and converting the RNA to DNA. So that is a reverse of whatever normal transcription, right? So this process is called reverse transcription. And once the RNA get converted to DNA, checking the level of DNA is little easy. And estimating the level of DNA is through a process called PCR, polymerase chain reaction. You might have heard RT-PCR in different news channels or newspapers. Now I will explain what exactly that means. Now we have RNA from the patient, and the RNA we have converted using a process called reverse transcription to DNA, and using PCR we will estimate how much DNA was there in the sample. And using the PCR, if we find there is a significant amount of DNA in my particular sample, that means that much amount of RNA was there in the sample. Without having viral infection, a person cannot have coronaviral RNA in his body. So if we get significant amount of DNA in the end result, that means the person already infected with corona. For example, if we take a person without having corona infection, the sample we have collected may not have the RNA of corona. After converting to DNA also, the sample may not have corona specific DNA. So while performing PCR, we will get no result. That means the amount will be 0. This way we can conclude if a person is infected with corona or not. So second is an antibody test. So here instead of taking swab, we have to take blood. So once our body is infected with a virus, our body will start making antibody to fight against the virus. If a person is having corona infection, his body will have antibody against corona, which will be circulating throughout the body through blood. So if we draw blood and check for the level of antibody in his blood, that will directly give you if the person is infected with corona or not. So our body will not make antibody until and unless there is viral infection in our body. So if we take a chip which is with antigen or coronaviral specific protein, and if we put the blood from the person who is infected with corona, the antigen and antibody will combine, right? And if the chip is made in such a way that if an antigen and antibody combine, it will give a color reaction. That means the blood drawn from the patient surely contain antibody against corona. So if the person doesn't have antibody, that means if the person's body never encountered with corona, body will never make antibody, right? That means that person's blood may not have antibody against corona. So even if the blood is drawn and when we put a drop of blood into the chip containing antigen or protein specific for the coronavirus, reaction may not happen. We will not see any color. That means that is a negative result. And if a color formation happen while we put a drop of blood into the chip containing antigen specific for the corona, that means that person's body already encountered corona infection. That is why his body started making antibody against corona, right? That is an indication that person is infected with corona, and that is a positive result. Now, as I already mentioned, when our body infect with corona, body will start making antibodies, right? Now, how exactly the corona is infecting a host? That is very important, because we are seeing so many people are dying because of corona. We want to know how exactly a corona is killing people, right? So, and the whole process of infecting a host is called, and causing disease is called, pathogenesis. And it is having two phases. One, the virus injuring the target cell directly. Second, virus affecting our immune system and making the immune system dysfunctional, and that itself lead to indirect injury. Now, once a corona get inside our body, how exactly it is getting inside our body? Through droplet inhalation. So if we are walking without a mask, and if we meet a person with infection, and if the person sneeze, the droplets will have corona, and that when we inhale, it will enter our body through our nostrils, and it will reach our lungs through the air that we inhale. Once it enter our lungs, corona, which is having a spiky like structure, and like those spikes are corresponding to its envelope proteins, which I already mentioned that corona is an enveloped virus. So this envelope protein make contact with host cell membrane, which is having other proteins. So this spike proteins binds to host proteins and kind of fuse with the host cell membrane and release its genetic material, that is RNA, directly into the host cell. So once it enter the host cell, it make use of the host cell machineries to make multiple copies of its viral RNA, and it also make the required proteins to make the coat, that is the spikes. And since it is an envelope protein, this envelope protein will save the virus, or envelope will save the virus from the immune response of our body. So anything which enter our body say virus or bacteria, our body usually will detect that is there is an invader, and it will alert all the immune responses, that is immune cells, and the immune cells will reach that particular point where the invader reached and make all kind of methods to get rid of the invader. But in this case, the virus is enveloped, it has its own machinery to get rid of the immune response of the host. So another method of getting rid of the immune response is the virus will affect the immune cells itself. So for example, the virus is one, say, thief. So the police will come to the place, right? So instead of attacking a civilian, the thief will directly attack the policeman and take the car of the policeman and run away. Similarly, the virus will attack the immune cells, and the immune cells will be circulating throughout our body through blood. So once it infect or attack the immune cells, sitting inside the immune cells, it will start circulating throughout our body and reach other organs like heart, liver, kidney, other digestive organs. So this is the reason why corona is capable of affecting other organs. Now you will be thinking, why our immune system is failing? Usually our immune system is very smart. Whenever our body is encountered with any kind of infection, even without our knowledge, it is getting rid of all those infections. If it is beyond its ability, then we will start getting sick. Otherwise, we don't even know that we are having some infection, right? So, in our body, for example, once an invader or a pathogens are causing diseases, right? Once a virus get inside our body, in the tissue, there are so many defenders. Those are called first line defenders. We can consider them like police officers. For example, macrophages, mast cell, dendritic cells. These are first line defenders in tissue. And in those tissues, these first line of defenders protect our body from the invader, say any other virus, and get rid of the virus within no time. But in case of coronavirus is smarter than these macrophages, mast cells and dendritic cells. So they will form a double membrane structure. So even if there are first line defenders, the macrophages, mast cells or dendritic cells will be helpless. The coronavirus will escape all these first line of defenders and affect the immune cells, that is these cells itself, in the blood and circulated with the help of the immune cells to the other organs. For example, once inside the blood, there are other police officers. For example, helper T cell, cytotoxic T cells, B cells and natural killer cells. So these police officers are equipped with pistols, and their bullets are in form of, for example, helper T cells, cytokines. And for cytotoxic T cell, their bullets are called granules. And for the B cells, the bullets are called antibodies. And natural killer cell will directly kill a virus infected cell without any further notice. So the helper T cell, for example, it will start firing cytokines when they encounter with a virus. But since the virus is really smart, the double membrane structure it formed, it will escape all these bullets. But the police officers are thinking the bullets are not enough, so they will be keep firing. So what will happen? Usually if a cell can withstand 10 bullets, now the police officer is firing 1000 bullets. Now the cell itself won't be able to withstand that much bullets within itself. That condition is called cytokine storm. So the cytokine storm itself can lead to a kind of condition called acute respiratory distress syndrome, and that itself is fatal for the host. So usually if a cell encounter virus, the immune cells will make inflammation in the cell so that our body will get an idea that something is wrong, something invaded to our body. So if the inflammation is not under control, that will itself will lead to different fatal situations. So coronavirus is having another way to escape all those immune cells. They will decline all these immune cells. Now there are different kinds of experiments and studies still going on to study further. Now these are only preliminary or few of the information that we have. We need more of experiments and more studies to find how exactly a coronavirus can escape our immune system. So as I already mentioned, whenever there is a viral infection, our body will start making antibody. So this process will take some time. Since the coronavirus is really smart, before even our body start making antibody, it will spread throughout our body and affect different organs. So even if we have antibody won't be able to get rid of all the virus in our body. And as I already mentioned, during viral infection, after getting inside the host cell, its RNA start making copies of itself to make multiple copies of the same virus within the host, which will have some mistakes. That is, if a virus, first virus we can name it as A, but the progenies will be different from the parent, just like humans, right? And that change is kind of evolution for the coronavirus. That means the coronavirus is slowly evolving within no time. So once our body detect the parental virus A, it make antibody against the parental virus A, but the progenies are different from parental virus A. So what will happen? The antibody won't be effective against the progenies or baby virus. So this is another way to escape the immune response. Now, as I already mentioned, usually our immune system will detect an invader and get rid of the invader, right? But in case of coronavirus, since it is really smart, without getting caught, it will circulate throughout the body by affecting the immune cell itself and making the immune system confused. That is why the immune cells, who are the police officers inside our body, start firing multiple bullets. And firing multiple bullets, that means making more amount of cytokine will lead to some kind of syndrome, distress syndrome in our body. That itself is fatal for the host. Okay? Now you will be thinking, usually we encounter with so many different kinds of virus, right? But our body is capable of getting rid of all the virus. Why not coronavirus? As I already mentioned, coronavirus is an evolving virus. because it is making use of the host machinery, and it is kind of doing it in secret, right? Without our permission, it is getting inside our cell and making multiple copies of its RNA and circulating throughout our body. So it doesn't care whether it is copying its genetic information correctly or not. So the mistakes happening during the duplication or copying process, making this coronavirus sometimes very smarter than the parental virus. And scientists have found a kind of coronavirus in patients with severe COVID-19 infection, and they have seen those coronavirus, the spike protein that is in the picture, the yellow color spikes. The spike protein has some kind of change compared to normal coronavirus spike protein, which is making the viral coat protein, that is the envelope, very stable. And these stable envelope proteins making the coronavirus easier to get inside a host cell, and also making it very aggressive and making people sicker. So once it approach a host cell, these spike proteins will bind to proteins on the surface of the host cell, and those proteins we can call it as receptors, and they will bind, kind of fuse with the host membrane and release its RNA into the host, make multiple copies of the RNA. Also it makes the required proteins for the coat, that is the spike proteins, and make multiple copies of the virus itself, then destruct the host cell and release to the outside to affect more of the host cells. So now you know, if a person is infected with a virus, say one virus, within the host cell it will multiply and makes millions, and his body, throughout his body, even in his droplets which comes out when he sneezes, will also have multiple copies of RNA, this coronavirus, which is having RNA as the genetic material. So once a person sneezes, those droplets containing thousands of coronavirus will spread to the environment or air. And this, when we inhale without a mask, that will go inside our body and make us sick. So once it get inside our body, the primary organ getting affected is lung, because it usually enter our body through inhalation, right? So through the air we are inhaling, it will reach the lungs. With the help of spike protein, it will fuse with the lung cells or lung epithelia and fuse with the epithelial membrane, release the RNA, make multiple copies of RNA, and make the spike protein and other components required for making multiple copies of the virus itself, and affect the immune cells, get rid of the immune cells from attacking the virus. Through blood vessel it will reach multiple organs like liver, kidney, heart and other digestive organs, and affect most of our body. Now the major symptoms we will be seeing after getting an infection is mostly associated with lungs. For example, fever, coughing, shortness of breath, trouble breathing. These are symptoms our body is showing to get rid of the virus, right? And once you have all the symptoms, not one of those but most of those, then you better go to a doctor or a hospital and get your blood checked. So they may take swab or blood from your body to check if your body is having infection with coronavirus. Like I already mentioned, if they are taking swab, they may go for RT-PCR. That is, the RNA they will convert to DNA, and DNA they will check for the level of coronavirus in that DNA. If they are taking blood, they will check for the antibody which our body already produced against the coronavirus. Now you will be thinking, who all should be careful? Actually speaking, everybody should be careful. But in a healthy person, your immune system is if your immune system is really strong, you have at least some chance that your body will be fighting very hard to get rid of the virus in different ways. Even if the virus is smart, since your immune system is really strong, and if your body is encountered with some less aggressive coronavirus, there is a chance that your body will fight with that coronavirus and get rid of the virus. But if your body encountered with a severe coronavirus lineage, even if your body is immune system is very strong, it may not be able to kill or get rid of the virus. So all of us should be very careful. But if you have some kind of disease, for example, if you have asthma, or if you have some blood pressure, diabetic, if you have any other health issue, you should be more careful, because your body is always fighting, right? Already it is fighting because you have some condition. And on top of that, if you have viral infection, the body has to take extra effort to get rid of that virus also, which make you sicker. So people with any kind of disease or condition should be careful than a healthier person. Now we will see what are all the treatments which is currently used. As you know, we don't have any medicine specifically against a coronavirus. That is because coronavirus, that is SARS-CoV-2, started only 7 months back, and our medical industry is not ready with the medicine, because we don't have to make a medicine in advance against any virus. So we are using some antiviral, that is a medicine against a virus which was against some other virus. For example, the first one, remdesivir, that is actually used against Ebola virus. Since it is against a virus, we are using the same medicine for the COVID-19 treatment. Second highly used medicine is hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine. These are actually used against malaria. Third one is plasma treatment. So what treatment method which FDA gave some kind of approval is that we can take plasma, that is the blood without the blood cells, the plasma, and from the patients who already recovered from COVID-19, thinking that those patients already have antibody against COVID-19. That's why they kind of recovered from that disease. So if we are using those antibody, sometime you can get rid of the corona infection. But the problem is, we don't know what kind of COVID we got inside, right? Because as I already said, the corona is evolving. So if a person encountered with a less aggressive coronavirus, and that is why he got recovered really fast, and if we have a coronavirus with an aggressive character, that treatment may not work. Other medicines are there which I have mentioned down. Those medicines are still in preclinical or clinical trials. That means they are still checking the effectiveness of that medicine without directly giving to a severe condition or a patient with severe coronavirus infection. Now we are all waiting for a vaccine against corona, right? Now we will see what exactly is a vaccine. So vaccine is a weakened or a dead disease bacteria. That means, like I already said, if we are infected with any kind of virus or bacteria, our immune system will start making antibody against the particular infectious agent. B cells, for example, start making antibody. But if we are giving a severe corona or any aggressive type of infectious agent to our body, that may give us a disease. Our body will take time to make antibody. By the time, the infection will spread throughout our body and make us sick. So instead of doing that, we are kind of make mimics of particular pathogen. For example, if we are using if you heat a particular pathogen, the pathogen will die, because heating will kind of inactivate most of the proteins in any organism. So if we directly heat or heat inactivate of some kind of inactivation, if we give, the infectious agent will be inactive or dead. And if we inject that dead or a weak variety of that particular pathogen to our body will get time to, our immune system will detect that as a potent pathogen and start making antibody. But actually, whatever we are injecting is not a live or a virus which can cause severe disease. So without getting sick, our body will start making antibody. So next time, even if our body is infected with a severe type of virus, since our body is equipped with all the antibodies, it can attack those virus or a pathogen or any bacteria without any kind of delay. Here what is happening, since our body doesn't have the antibody against the coronavirus, once it enter, since it is very smart, it start making multiple copies. By the time our body realize that there is a kind of infectious agent in our body, it sort of spread throughout our body. That is what is happening now. But if our body is having antibody already made, waiting for an infectious agent, next time when a coronavirus enter to our body, the antibody without any delay it can attack, right? But the problem is, the whole process of making antibody will take time. The whole process means, first we need to make an inactive form or very weak form of that particular antigen, so, or the virus. So first we need to make that. Next, you can't directly give it to a patient, right? First we need to see how effective that particular antigen is. So antigen is the dead or inactive form of that particular pathogen. So instead of using the whole virus, what scientists are doing is they are taking only the spike protein. Spike protein is the spike on top of that virus, coronavirus. So first they have generated a mice which is modified in such a way that it carries the protein which binds to the corona spike protein in human being. So in human, like I already mentioned in a previous picture, the coronavirus spike protein will bind to a specific protein on top of human cell membrane. So we have modified a mice in such a way that it carries that protein which binds to the spike protein of coronavirus. So once they make the mice, that special mice, they will inject the spike protein into that mice and see if it is capable or if it makes the antibody specific against the spike protein. Once the mice start making the antibody, then they will inject the mice with the aggressive kind or all kinds of coronavirus and see if the mice survive without getting any disease. If that is a success, then they will take the same spike protein to a group of people, like a small population of people. That is called human trial. If that is a success, and if all the people start making, all the people in that clinical trial experiment, if they survive without getting sicker, then they will go for phase 2. That means they will try in a large group of volunteers. So all these volunteers are not having any kind of coronaviral infection, and they will be given all the spike proteins to their body and see if they can make antibody against the spike protein, and later they will be injected with the coronavirus and see if they can survive without getting sick. If all that is a success, then we need to see if that vaccine, that is which we have checked in all these different kinds of trials, if that is a success, and we have to see if that is giving any other adverse effect than making antibody. We need to see if that vaccine is giving any allergy to normal people without any infection. If that is also success, then they have to go for getting license to market the vaccine. Then the final stage or phase 4 is large scale manufacture. Now you know why it is taking a long time to get or make the vaccine, right? Now we will see, instead of waiting for the vaccine and medicines to come, how we can avoid coronavirus infection. So research papers are already there, which is showing coronavirus can survive in harsh conditions. Usually, as I said, a virus can survive only within a host cell, right? So in the case of corona cell to make multiple copies of itself, it need a host cell. Even without multiplying, it is found to survive in different conditions. For example, in air, it can survive for 3 hours. In copper surface, it can survive for 4 hours. In cardboards, it can survive for 24 hours. And on stainless steel surface, 2 to 3 days. And polypropylene plastic, it can survive for 3 days. This is what scientists have found. That means if a person with corona infection sneezes without having a mask, there is a chance that the water droplet can fall to any of these surface or in air itself, and it can stay there without getting any harm to the coronavirus. And if you are very careless, without any mask, if you are walking and if you are touching other surface and without cleaning your hand, if you are putting your hand on your nose or on your mouth, there is a chance that COVID-19 virus, that is coronavirus, can get inside our body without even your knowledge. So, best way to avoid corona infection is preventing yourself from getting the virus inside your body. How can we do that? Make sure you wear a face mask all the time when you go outside. And whenever you touch surface, wash your hands with a hand sanitizer and keep a safe distance. That means you don't even know if a person is having a corona infection or not, because if a person is really healthy, even without showing in any kind of symptoms, the person may carry the corona inside his body. And for your luck or unluck, if your body is having some kind of decline or some problem with your immune system, if a person sneeze whom you think doesn't have any infection but carry the coronavirus, that coronavirus can get inside your body and make you sick. So the best way to keep you away from the coronavirus infection is keeping you safe. Okay, prevention is always better than cure. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, and if you want me to talk about some other subject, please write it down in the comment section and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to press the bell button for getting notification. Thanks for watching. Bye.